Hello and welcome to the Game Brew Podcast. This is MicroBrew number 3 on April 15th, 2018. I am your host, Ian Richard, and I am joined for this wonderful MicroBrew by Chris.
Hey.
And also Bizarro Ian Strickler.
How you doing?
Welcome to the show, Ian. So glad to have you. Today we're going to discuss PAX East, which Chris and Ian recently attended. But first, it's time for a brew?
Yes. Yes, it is.
What are we drinking this fine afternoon?
I am currently drinking a Jack and Coke out of my Yeti cup.
Okay.
Oh, out of the Yeti.
Right.
That's going to keep it nice and cold and fresh.
Ice cold.
It is. I should note that this is not the Game Distill podcast, so I don't know what the hell you think you're doing.
I couldn't help it.
I'm drinking a Yingling.
And I'm currently drinking tea, which technically is brewed. However,
You're not wrong.
earlier today I was at the Golden Road Brewery up in Pasadena, and I was drinking their what was it called? Spicy mango cart. Oh my god, it was delicious. It was so good.
How good was it?
It was so it's a wheat beer, and it's got fruit in it, so you're thinking like kind of a Blue Moon vibe, right? And that's already good. And then add some like serious spicy heat that lingers in a tasty way. Not like a mean way, just it feels good in your mouth.
It's got some bite.
Yeah. Oh, it was great. I was the happiest clam in the sandbar.
Well, I did not know that clams liked beer, but that does sound pretty good.
Speaking of good, it seems like you guys had a great time at PAX East.
Oh, great time. It was amazing.
It was a lot of fun.
So this was, 2 weeks ago? Was April 5th through April 8th? Thursday, Sunday?
Yeah, so it was about a week and a half ago, I guess.
Okay. And did you both go to the entirety of the conference?
I went for 2 days.
Yeah, you went Friday and Saturday?
Yeah, Friday and Saturday.
And then I was there. I was actually working as an enforcer. So I was working in the PC tournament
I'm sorry.
area.
You were working
Best job title.
Yes, I was in the PC tournament area as an enforcer.
Yep. What was the job?
Enforcing?
You weren't enforcing. It was just enforcing.
Yeah. So I was there all 4 days, and actually I also helped tear down as well.
That's cool. So we'll kind of get back to that. But so tell us about what PAX is and why you like PAX first off.
So I think in the last microbrew we talked about PAX Unplugged, which is kind of their board games, card games event. PAX East is one of their bigger events. It's not the original one, but it is, I believe, the biggest PAX event of the year. So it's held in Boston every year. It has upwards of 80,000 to 100,000 people in attendance over the 4-day span. And it's basically just a celebration of video game fans and gaming fans. So they'll have a bunch of different video game companies will bring their stuff. Vendors will bring their stuff, such as like people that make different PC hardware or monitors or glasses or things like that. Gaming chairs, Thrustmasters they're called.
The best name.
I gotta get me one of those. Wow.
Yeah.
What? Tell us why you like the name so much, Ian.
Let's just say there was a long line for the Thrustmaster.
And it's everything from little small indie devs to the bigger devs like Square Enix and Blizzard, and so it's a great way to kind of get a complete overview of the entire community and atmosphere of gaming.
That's awesome. Just out of curiosity, what does this con run you in terms of like, did you pay or did you not pay because you were kind of working?
Well, since I was working, I didn't pay.
Yeah.
I did buy tickets though, so they were, I think they were like $50 a day plus like a $3 a day service fee. So if you buy them early, it's $53 a day. I think.
I figured it was going to be way worse than
53 or 63, something like
That was on pre-order. If you waited a little bit longer, they were going up to like $100.
That's if you were buying aftermarket prices.
Yeah.
Like not from PAX.
Oh, like from a secondary or something.
Yeah.
That's like downright reasonable, though.
Yeah, I mean, $200 ish for the whole weekend is pretty good. But the real killer is the hotels.
Right, of course. So you got to have somebody to stay with.
Yep, which is where Strickler came in.
Hey!
Save my bacon.
Strickler bed and breakfast.
No, it was really great. Like just being able to hang out with Strick. It's been a while. We used to live together. We were roommates in college, and so it was good to hang out again a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
So did he fluff your pillows for you?
Every night, he tucked me in.
Such a gentleman.
I had a dog that cuddled with him. It was great.
Oh man,
Mowgli.
That dog is hella cute too.
He's ornery.
All right, cool. Let's dive into PAX a little bit more. So, tell me about the favorite gaming stuff that you saw. I mean, I have to imagine there are some pretty incredible things going on that conference floor.
Absolutely. Strick, you can go first you can give the first timer's view, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, this was really the first kind of con that I've gone to. It was, I was a little worried going into it. I didn't really know what to expect. But when, walking in, it's just, there's a vibe to it, there's 30, 40,000 people there, and everyone has the same objective, just to have fun and celebrating video games. Obviously, it's packed in there, and, you walk in, and it's just sensory overload. You're just like, where do you start? So, obviously, I was kind of drawn into, Blizzard. I think, me and Chris kind of, the first day, he walked me through and showed me kind of the layout of everything, and then when he went to work, I'd go off on my own. So obviously I'd hit, like I said, Blizzard, go look at computers, because obviously I was trying to look into possibly building one. But it's an amazing experience. I think, you see such a diverse group of people. You're seeing 12-year-olds running around with parents, and then you're seeing 60-year-old guys and women who are just there to have fun. And it's really amazing to see the connection over the generations. Cool.
Yeah, and it's neat. I think a lot of the time as gamers, we tend to think of ourselves as sort of isolated in our little rooms in front of our own screens, and that can feel like you don't have a community. And so cons might be a way for you to find community, and I think that's really neat. Strick, is that one of the reasons you wanted to go, or are you just I just want to get into the games and see what's going on?
I mean, obviously, if it hadn't been for Chris, I'm going to be downright honest, I probably wouldn't have gone.
Right.
But knowing that Chris was going there, obviously I wanted to go and hang out with him. And then after that experience, I'm like, oh, damn, I would go to this now. Even if Chris wasn't coming next year, I would go to this. So, it was kind of I'm going to go because of Chris, and then it turned into, no, I just want to go now.
Cool. Yeah. So what'd you see on the floor that was awesome? What was Blizzard doing?
So Blizzard, obviously, their big thing was announcing the World of Warcraft expansions. Overwatch was huge.
They also had a new Heroes of the Storm character.
Yes.
Did you hear about that? Deckard
Cain.
Such a badass.
That's so random. I almost didn't believe it at first.
But really the games that I kind of connected with were kind of the smaller ones. Earthfall, me and Chris, we played at separate times, but I really found that interesting. And there's a new one, it's not out yet, but it's called Scum. And I loved this game. The premise is it's actually based in prison, and it's a deathmatch survival mode on a breakout. All these prisoners are breaking out, and everyone's against each other. It is absolutely amazing.
So is it like a battle royale?
It's battle royale.
But shivs and poles and shit?
You start off with a shiv, and you just try and upgrade it as quickly as possible.
Oh,
it seems like it's kind of like if Rust and PUBG had a love child.
Yeah. It's from what you're describing, it also sort of sounds like... did you guys ever play Gun Game in...
Yeah. In Call of Duty? Yeah.
No, well, I didn't play in Call of Duty. Where did I play it?
Didn't they have Gun Game in Call of Duty?
Yeah, they do.
Where did it start, though? Son of a bitch.
Oh, CSGO.
In any case, is it like that? So, when you shiv someone, do you immediately get a better weapon because you shivved them?
No, it's more of you go through the map trying to find stuff, and then you just unleash hell.
And then,
That's cool.
From what I heard, there was also kind of an element of some way to turn into a zombie as well.
Yes.
So that is also involved.
So you go through, and then you have the option of coming back and being a zombie and trying to just create more chaos within the ones that are left. So it's almost like you die, you can come back for a certain amount of time and just try and mess everyone up.
That's interesting that you get kind of a second life. That's interesting, especially for a battle royale where
I loved
the
it.
tradition is like you're dead and then you're dead. That's it. You know, do anything else. What was the first game you were talking about again? Not Scum. It was the
Earthfall.
Earthfall. Yeah, like a Left 4 Dead kind of thing.
Yeah, that would be the closest thing that I would say it's to. Basic premise is you're on a 4-man team and aliens have invaded, obviously. And it's
Obviously,
really just
as they do. It's so. I mean, it's like you're trying to go to Starbucks, get a fucking frappuccino,
and there's an alien right
aliens.
beside
God,
you
every time.
So you go through the map, and it is a story to it, which, you know, when I'm gaming, that's what I enjoy. Like my favorite games are Gears of War just because of the storyline. But there is a story element to Earthfall. It is fast paced. It is a run and gun, just everything that I love about any sort of game. It's you dive, you reload, and then you just tear stuff up. And I absolutely love that kind of game.
That's cool.
Me and Chris, we played it. Chris, you played it, I think, right?
I did. I played it early in the morning on, I think, Saturday.
So the nice thing is, you know, it is a 4-man team, and you can play by yourself, and you have the AI. And I think the cool thing is because me and Chris were talking to one of the devs, is they're really trying to emphasize the AI not sucking, which I think is huge. I think when you're playing games and you have to use AI, I think that hinders the experience. And I think it was pretty cool that they actually took the time to really expand on AI in this game.
Right. And a lot of the people who have talked about Vermintide 2, which is a very similar sort of Left 4 Dead skeleton with a Warhammer skin on it, have said that the reason that game is so much better than the original Vermintide is because the master AI is so much better at deciding when you should be fighting what and just scaling difficulty and that kind of thing. So that's cool. That sounds really neat.
Yeah, it's really cool. I'm excited to play it with a bunch of people. I mean, it's good to have it's another Left 4 Dead style game, but with better gunplay and more customization. There's just a little more to it. Like Left 4 Dead was a little more arcadey.
Yeah, is there a progression system at all? Like, is there loot or leveling or anything like that?
I'm not sure. I know they have 5 or 7 maps that are currently available in early access, and then once they go to full access, it'll be 10.
And I think these are from the guys. I think Chris is they were saying they're from Infinity Ward. A lot of their developers
It was a combination. I think they said some people were from Valve as well. So it's
cool.
A combination of young, old guys, and
yeah, I really think that game's gonna knock it out of the park.
Did I mean, the other thing that I liked from at least seeing the pictures that you guys sent along was the gear that was there. So there was this crazy curved screen that was huge.
Oh god,
AMD
it was
had
great.
49-inch. It's I think a 32:9 aspect ratio.
Oh my god.
49-inch super ultra wide monitor. It was ridiculous. They had Far Cry 5 on it. And
what do you? I mean, you need a
I would
serious
love to
card to run that. Even thinking about
Actually, no. So
really?
So when you think about, I mean, the size of the monitor, yes, is very big, but I think it wasn't more than 1440 by 3440 probably, pixel ratio. I don't think.
Okay.
I can double check that.
I definitely think it was 1440.
It would have to be if it's 49-inch. But yeah, no, it was ridiculous. It's a $1,000 monitor, but it's only 1080, so it's 3840 by 1080.
Okay.
So it's actually not as bad as you would think to run.
Interesting.
You wouldn't need multiple cards to run it.
So a monitor like that, I mean, basically you can just have a ridiculous field of view.
Yeah, so your field of view is just that's why in that picture that I showed you, and I'll send it out. I don't know if it was posted or not. But I will post it. You just see basically everything around you. It's the step between normal monitors and VR, I guess.
Right. And then you also sent some pictures to us of some really cool cases for computers, or maybe
yeah,
it
the
was
custom cases
custom
from
rigs.
Corsair. Yeah, they
Oh
had
man,
a couple Overwatch custom cases. There was one that was Mercy. I think one that was Genji.
There was a Zelda one.
A Zelda case?
Yeah, you didn't see that one, I don't think. Because you didn't take a picture of it.
Huh.
It was Link's shield. It was pretty cool.
Oh, that's really cool.
was there any like future tech gear or like VR there that you guys got a chance to do hands on with?
I don't think I saw. I mean, I didn't really actually honestly mess much with VR.
I didn't either.
I don't think that there was any of the new Vive stuff there, because Vive is coming out with some new VR gear.
Right. I think they're yeah.
I didn't either. VR kind of is unknown to me. And as bad as it sounds, I just didn't really give it a chance while I was there.
No, it sounds bad. It sounds real bad.
PAX is really not the place for VR, like future gear, I guess.
Right.
It's more for the now gear and doing cool stuff, like gamery stuff too.
Right.
Gear, if that makes sense.
So Chris, tell me about like the enforcing stuff. So you were enforcing for the PC free play area, is that what you
PC
said?
tournament. So actually I signed up for PC free play, but then the first day I was there, they were like, "You're going to be in PC tournament." And I was like, "Cool." And actually that ended up being, I think, a little better, because I actually got to talk to more people one-on-one and kind of mess around with computers a little more, which is kind of what I wanted to do.
Yeah, so tell us about the difference between PC free play and PC tournament and what role they play at the con.
Sure. So at free play, it's basically like there's a line, and they have about like 120 computers in this area, and you get in line, and when it's your turn, you can go up and take 45 minutes and play basically any game that's on that computer. So it's usually like a bunch of the popular Steam games, and they'll have like most of the Blizzard games on there as well. So it's basically a great way to try out either new popular games or try out really nice hardware.
That's cool. What was the hardware and the rigs?
So it was sponsored by Lenovo, so that was like all Lenovo everything. So the monitors were really nice. They were like curved 27-inch 1080p 144 hertz G-Sync monitors.
Okay.
They're like $500 monitors. And then the rigs were really nice. They're really compact, and they're kind of like LAN boxes, so they have a handle on the top. So it was really I helped tear it down, so like it was really nice to help with that. But like there was a mix of computers in there, but like most of them had i7s and GTX 1070s or 1080s, so they were very nice computers.
They definitely weren't messing around.
No.
That's cool. And do people? I mean, people don't really come to the con to go sit down and play games.
Well, you'd be surprised. I mean, there was people like Strickler, who he never really messed around on a gaming PC before, and he ended up having me build one before I left. So,
oh, look at him now. He's all grown up.
Love it.
But I mean, there definitely were people that were trying to do that. There was almost always a line. So.
All right, so I want to come back to talking about Strick's new computer, but first, okay, so we talked about free play. What was up with the tournament side of things that you were actually working?
So I was working at Tournament. They had a bunch of different tournaments for games that were less popular and more popular, so they were kind of big tournaments, small tournaments.
Mount your friends?
Huh?
Mount your friends?
Not Mount Your Friends.
Dang.
But like they had an Orcs Must Die 2 tournament, like which was kind of small. Or like they actually also did a Minecraft tournament, which is kind of fun.
Okay.
2 Rocket League tournaments, a Brawlhalla tournament.
Cool.
Which was really cool for me because those 2 games sent over reps from the companies.
Interesting.
So I got to talk to the Psyonix rep and the Brawlhalla rep for a little bit, which was nice.
What did you talk to them about?
I was just asking them like how they like their job, what kind of things they do, and just kind of networking a little bit.
Right.
That's one of kind of the perks of being an enforcer. Is that I feel like it's like an unspoken about perk, is that you kind of get to be on the level with them instead of just being an attendee. You also get to be like, because you're also working, you get to kind of. A little bit.
I didn't realize you were networking while you were there, man.
I mean, kind of, not like seriously. I didn't like have business cards to give out or anything.
Right.
I might try that next year, but like it was cool. Like I didn't know, like, because it was my first time enforcing, So
Right.
it was just cool that like we could talk to them on the level.
Yeah, that is great. Very cool. Okay, so let's talk about this PC that happened. So in the wonderful honeymoon glow of PAX East, and I'm just imagining you two like skipping through a field of
A
silicon.
Micro Center.
Skipping through a Micro Center.
It was awesome.
Hands, with like big shiny anime eyes, like picking things off the counter. So tell us what happened.
So obviously I went to PAX and sat down, was playing free play.
Well, let's preface this. So before I went up there, Strickler was telling me, he was like, man, I kind of want to build a computer or like buy a computer. And I was like, this was back in November when prices weren't ridiculous. And I was like, you should build it. And he was like, okay, cool. What do I need to do that? And I was like, well, here's some things. And he was like, I think I'm just going to let you do it when you come up to PAX. And I was like, cool. Didn't think that was actually going to happen. So, I mean, and like the prices of stuff have been kind of ridiculous recently, but they're going down, which is good. But anyways, now you can continue, Strickler. Now,
So obviously went to PAX, and I will also preface this by saying I had never played on a desktop.
Yeah.
I've always been a console guy. So went to PAX, and that was kind of my main reason to go here was, all right, let's try this out. Let's see what this is all about. So I sat in line for 30 minutes waiting on this desktop, free play. I'm like, man, I know what's going to happen. I'm going to love this. And then my wallet's not going to like this. So I sat down and I played some PUBG, and I was just like, damn you, Chris Wrights. Damn you. So then I started playing CSGO because I know Will was into it, and Will Shell, and I was like, God damn it, Will Shell. All right. So I went home that night and I looked at Chris and I was like, we're doing this. So we sat down, both our laptops out, and just put this thing together. And I was like, all right, here's my credit card. There it is.
Do your worst.
Went through Micro Center. So the best part is my girlfriend, Stephanie, is also in the room while we're doing this. And Chris made a plus model, and then she was like, well, how much is this? He gave her the price, and she kind of gave me the look of So I was like, all right, Chris, knock it down a little bit. Chris knocks it down, maybe down to like an A- in my eyes, and says the price, and she just kind of rolls her eyes and goes, okay. Click. Bye.
Listen, it costs less than the dog. So.
It's true.
Definitely did.
So
I think you did okay. What's the hardware in the rig?
It's an R5 1600, 16 gigs of 3200 megahertz RAM, a 128 or 256 gigabyte, 256 gigabyte SSD, 2 terabyte hard drive, a GTX 1080, in an NZXT 340 S340 case with a 27-inch Pixio 1440p 144 hertz monitor.
it's like he was right here when we
Ian,
pieced it together.
He did you right. He
Yeah.
did you right, buddy. You're
The
doing
only
okay over there.
the only thing I picked out was the monitor. So
Well, and actually, I do want to talk about this. So Pixio was at PAX, and so I've been kind of crushing on Pixio recently, just because they make like not cheap, but like lower priced monitors than like Acer, the big names, but they're also very high quality.
Okay.
And they were there, and one of my favorite things that I got, like swag wise, was this awesome Pixio huge monitor cleaning cloth. It's like the size of a paper towel. I've been using like tiny little microfiber things for like your eyeglasses. Yeah. No, this is what I needed. I was so pumped.
Dude,
when I
you
got
need
this, and Strickler can let you know. I was like, oh my god, this is exactly what I needed. I didn't even know they made them this size, and it's fantastic.
yeah, we definitely were walking around afterwards, and I'm like, oh, that was a nice monitor, and I'm like trying to get Chris's vibe on it, and then he just stops, and I was like, did he get like a grand prize or something? And he's like, a cloth. I was like,
So
what?
pumped about it,
That's
man.
what you're excited about?
Well, no, because like
And
the
it's- he's
weekend
pumped.
before, I was cleaning off my monitor with this tiny little piece of shit, And now I have this grand, nice, like, paper towel sized thing. It's going to take...
Yeah, man. You could, like, dry yourself off if
yeah,
you got out of the shower
for
with
sure.
that thing.
I was real pumped.
That thing is huge. Well, that's awesome. Did you guys get any other swag?
I ended up with 4 shirts. I ended up with... So, as an enforcer, I got 2 enforcer shirts for PAX East. And then I ended up with 4 more shirts. So basically next time I'm probably not going to bring, like, I'll bring 2 t-shirts and that's it. And then I'll just go acquire them. But so I got like that's a Rocket League one, an AMD one, an EVGA one, and a Discord one.
Ah, that's cool. Ian, what about you?
I was not really into the swag, as bad as that sounds, but I picked up the Pixio stuff. And Chris, what was the other? It was the first one that we
from
went.
Patriot.
Yeah, Patriot. I definitely have used their swag as a beer opener. That was great. Clutch today.
Yeah, no, Patriot gave out, like, you just had to sign up for some stuff, but they were giving out
mouse
beer
pads.
opener, pens, mouse pad, handkerchief, socks, and a fidget spinner.
I definitely.
So it was a good little bag.
Oh, the fidget spinner got me in trouble.
And then the other cool thing, I did get a Bluetooth speaker and a bunch of pins.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So the other thing is about cons is that they usually do like panels and stuff where people come and talk about games. No panels?
I went to panels.
Oh, you did? Which one did you go to?
So I went to Facebook Gaming. I did catch a little bit on PUBG. That was fascinating just to see them.
Oh, from Player Unknown's panel. Nice. I didn't.
Oh, interesting. What did you guys learn? What did
he was just kind of
giving?
They were just giving the background, obviously, why they thought this game has just created such a following, and that's really what I
created a genre.
Yeah, I mean it's amazing to hear when you're seeing developers and people who have created this game, and then they're just seeing the following. I think that's so interesting because it really is just a pat on the back to them, seeing 10,000 people just sitting there watching you play this game, and they're just fascinated.
Sure, yeah.
One thing I did want to mention, one of the coolest things at PAX East this year was that they had so they took some of the free play computers from last year and made a 100-man area for just PUBG. So they would bring in 100 people for one round and they would play against each other. And then when you got killed, you got up from your computer and left. So like,
dude, that's intense.
It was really like when I saw that, I was like, that is cool as shit. Like, just see, like, to have the 100 people that you're playing against in an area. Like,
was it a tournament? So like, did they record all the winners and then do like a winners round?
I mentioned that would be really cool, but like when I was there, but like no, they did not do that.
Okay.
But still, like that, it's just to see it was really cool.
I actually watched that for a long time, just watching people, and you'd see them get up and look like they wanted to throw a child across the room, and then you have the one guy who just sits there and he's like, "Yep, won that round, thank you very much," and just gets up and goes.
Yeah, there was a buddy of mine from high school that won apparently 3 rounds of it.
What?
Yeah, apparently
That's
he's pretty
sick.
good.
So the other thing that I'm always curious about cons is there like a nightlife that happens beyond the con? Like, do people like get up and go out afterwards? Is there an after party?
So there is.
Yeah,
but I did not go to it.
I see.
But I'm aware of it. I'm aware that like different companies like sponsor parties.
They do.
But I didn't go to it.
Yeah,
oh,
I know
man.
Blizzard definitely had an after party.
I think Acer had one as well.
Dude, that's totally cool.
Blizzard.
Yeah, but like
Blizzard was live tweeting from their after party, just throwing freebies out at this party.
That's cool. Any solid cosplays?
Oh yeah.
I mean, there was a lot of good ones. So at the front of the PAX, they had this big like protect the payload thing for Overwatch, and so like I felt like there was a lot of Overwatch cosplays.
I'm always so impressed by good cosplays.
Yeah, I mean it's so much time and so much effort.
Yeah, and just like how much building it really does take because of the like waggy gear. That you can't just buy that stuff. You have to put it together.
You can. It's just real expensive.
Real.
Yeah. Very cool. All right. Anything else you guys wanted to talk about?
I did want to mention. I went to the show floor a little early on Sunday, and was able to check out Detroit Become Human.
Oh, this game looks amazing.
Coming out. Yeah, so I played the demo of it before people came in on Sunday, and
okay. So for the uninitiated, tell us what Detroit Become Human is.
So it's a game that's coming out for PS4, I think in May, and I guess it's an action adventure game. And so in the demo, you're playing as this police android, and you're basically going up to a penthouse suite to try and negotiate with another android who's taken a little girl hostage.
Okay.
And so like you go in and you can it's kind of like, like in the Batman games or in The Witcher where you kind of have like that scanning ability so you can check out like specific items and like you can kind of see them quickly.
Yeah.
It highlights them. You kind of have that ability,
right.
And basically you start out at a 50% chance of success, like successfully being able to negotiate. And depending on the things that you look at and like finding out different facts through the room before you go and negotiate will raise that success chance. But as time goes on, that success chance goes down as well. So you kind of have to be quick.
Oh, so you have to like resolve it quick.
Yeah, so like it's kind of a balancing act. Like, do you try to find more stuff, or do you just kind of go for it and hope for the best? So like that adds so much stress. Like while I was playing it, like the first thing I played that morning, I was just stressing out, and like it's amazing that they were able to grab me so quickly and make me care so quickly about like the success rate. It was very cool.
Yeah, even outside of the normal context that you would theoretically have during the game itself.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
they grabbed me with that.
Well, and that's like Quantic Dream, forgive me if I'm wrong, but they're the same people who did Heavy Rain for PS3. So Quantic Dream is the developer. The release date is May 25th, so next month. But I think they did Heavy Rain too. Which
They did. They also did Beyond Two Souls.
Right, and I remember watching my friend play Heavy Rain, and even just watching, kind of becoming engrossed in the characters and the story, and especially at the very beginning, there's like a loss of a child situation that is just incredibly heartbreaking in that game.
Yeah.
And like just like you said, it's not like there was a whole lot of context or anything. It just they do a really good job of making you feel like you're there.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they did a great job. Even with like, if the demo is as good, or if the demo is a good representation of that game, I'm really interested in it. Like, I hadn't really like paid much attention to it, but like, I heard Strickler say it looked really cool, and I've heard some stuff about it, and so I was like, I'll try it, and it's really drawing me.
Cool. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to play it, but. Yeah, I kind of was when I was by myself walking around. Just the people coming out, from the demo, they were just fascinated by it.
Any final comments, Strick?
No, I just would have to again thank Chris for giving me that opportunity,
Man, no problem.
And thanks for spending a lot of my money. But well worth it. I look forward to tons of hours of gaming with you guys.
Very cool. We look forward to it too. And thanks for being on the show today, Strick.
No problem. Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, Chris. Thanks a lot to you too, man. I appreciate your on-the-scene reporting. It's very helpful for us.
Man, no problem.
Here back at Game Brew Central.
I really hope. I'm hoping to also try to get to more of them. So soon.
Cool. All right. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Toodaloo.
Thanks so much for listening, Game Brew fans. If you have any fun convention stories, or if you're going to a conference soon, you want to tell us why you're excited, or if you have any questions about PAX East, you can hit us up at The Game Brew at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We love to hear from you. Thanks so much for listening, and goodbye.